when we do the change, it confuses some people. So some people may come in when we're about to finish. Then,
are you doing that with daylight saving time or what?
Yeah, daylight savings, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it connected?
Yes, you may begin, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Gurave Gurachandaya, Radhikaya Tidalaye, Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya, Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Narayana Namaskritya, Narayachava Narottama, Devam Saraswatim Vyasam, Tato Jayam Mudirayat, Nastapaye Swabhadresu, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavati Tamasloke, Bhakti Bhavati Nastiki, Vede Ramane Chaiva, Purane Bharate Tata, Hadwadyan Chamadyecha Harisavata Giyate, Mukam Karoti Bhajalam, Prangu Langarite Giri, Yakripata Havande, Sri Guru Dinatarini, Paramananda Madhava. Dhamma Pujita Kadavo Tra Paramoni Masram Satan, Vedam Vastavam, Atavastu Shivadam Tapatayo Mulanam, Shima Bhagavati Mahamani Kritinki Vaipara Isvara Sadyuridi Abaridi Chakati Bhikta Krishanam. Nigama Kapatalu Galitan Falam Sukam Mukan Dravasam Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalaya Muhura Rasika Bhuvibabuka Yashavashamana Yan Krishna Paramapurushe Bhakti Utapade Punsa Sokamoa Bayakha Atonyam Brahmasutranam Bharatata Bininaya Gayati Basharupusha Virata Paribrimita Sababiditi Asanam Saram Saram Paribrimita Sababidantam Saramhi Sri Bhakutamishyati Tarasami Tashyati Tashya Nayatya Syadrati Rati Kuchit Krishna Yabasudevaya Devaki Nandana Yacha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Nama Vasudeva Sutan Devan Kansa Chandra Madana Devaki Paramananda Krishna Vande Jaga Guru Namamo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nevise Sasunya Badi Paschatya Disatarine Vanchakapaturubhyascha Kripasundhi Vacha Paritana Pavanavebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasati Go Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is the beginning of November and we are nearing the end of Kartik. So I thank everyone for being here this evening. Okay, evening my time. I guess some of you is afternoon and some is the morning. If you're in America, it's morning time. And if you're in Europe or Africa, it's afternoon. For me, it's nighttime. So different timing for different persons. So today is actually it's a Kadasi day. And it's the, no, today is Dwadasi, not the Kadasi. Yesterday was a Kadasi. So today is Dwadasi. So which means we have 3 more days before the end of Kartik. So Kartik will end on the 5th or 6th, which is on Punim Day. So I hope everyone has had a wonderful Kartik month, observance of Kartik month. As we had said earlier, that the month of Kartik is a very special month. It's special in the sense because this month is very dear to Lord Krishna. So anything we do in this month devotional activities, vows that we take, the merit is thousands of times much more than the other months. And this month, so many events, many wonderful occasions happening this month. In this month, we celebrated the Govardhan Puja, when Lord Krishna raised the Govardhan hill on the tip of his finger, and also Diwali, celebrated this month also. Diwali is the day when Lord Ramachandra returned to the city of Ayodhya after the 14 months of exile, and then the whole city was lit up with lamps. The whole city of Ayodhya was illuminated. So therefore, it's a big celebration of that. And also, this month also is the month when Lord Krishna, as a child, as a beautiful young boy, 3 years old, he was banned by his mother Yashoda. So it's very beautiful month. And basically this pastime reminds us that the Lord is subdued by loving dealings of his devotees. The Lord becomes very captured by the love of his devotees. Not so much by the regulative principles or tapasya. He's very much captured by love of his devotees. Somebody showed her, she was able to capture Krishna and bind him because of her love. She had the purest Vatsalya Prem. Vatsalya is the parental relationship which Mother Yashoda has for Krishna. And this relationship is unmatched. So therefore, this month is a very joyous month by which the Vaishnavas, they sing the glories of Lord Damodara this month, and they relish these pastimes among themselves. So now, today's verse is about Vidura asking Maitreya Muni. Vidura asking Maitreya Muni about the events, what happened during the incarnation of Lord Varaha, the boy incarnation of Lord Krishna. So in the previous chapter, the previous chapter, it was briefly mentioned how Lord Varaha, how he came out from the nostrils of Lord Brahma. He came out from the nostrils of Lord Brahma, as a very small, by the form of a bill, very small. It came out of his nose, and then all of a sudden become big in the sky, huge in the sky. And then Lord Varaha, he rescued the earth. He rescued the earth from the bottom of the ocean of devastation, bottom of the sea, which had sunken during the devastation. So Lord Varaha rescued the earth. And also it has been recorded also in the Puranas, in the other scriptures, like Lord Varaha is not just one incarnation. He appeared a couple of times. Of course, the form of Varahadev is eternal form because he has got his own Vaikuntha planet. Usually, every incarnation of the Lord, they all have their particular section in the spiritual world. So even though we have read of many of these incarnations in the Bhagavatam, like Kuma incarnation, the Master, the fish incarnation, or Isis incarnation, many different incarnations. But all of them, they all have their particular abode in the Vaikuntha Dham, because all the incarnations, they are Krishna's expansions. They are Purushas. Purushas mean the Supreme Person. So of course, they come to the material world from time to time for a particular purpose. So Lord Varaha was said to come. He came 2 times. Once during the Swayambhuva Manu, he came during that time and rescued the earth from the ocean of devastation when the old planetary system were inundated. And that time the Earth planet has sunken down. So Lord Varaha came during the Swayambhuva Manu, and then also again during the Chakshusa avatar, Chakshusa Manu. In one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. There are 14 Manus in one day of Brahma. So start with Swayambhuva Manu, and Chakshusa Manu, he came is much later, which means there are a few generations of Manu before Chakshusa Manu. So Chakshusa Manu, during that time also there was the inundation, and then Lord Varaha also came. Now he did 2 things. One thing is that he rescued the earth and also killed Hiranyaksha. Of course, Hiranyaksha is going to be the topic of this chapter, which we are beginning today. It's a very interesting chapter. In the Laghu Bhagavatamrita, I will get to that very shortly. I'm going to read some sections of Laghu Bhagavatamrita about the appearances of Hiranyaksha. Not Hiranyaksha, sorry, of Lord Varahadev. And Varahadev avatar, it's not that it's always like a pig, like a boar. According to the descriptions, sometimes he appears as 4-legged, and sometimes he appears as half man, half boar. Just like Nishingadev. Nishingadev is half man, half lion. So also there's a form of Lord Varaha also that is half man, half human, and half animal. In this case, Boha. It's called Sukha. Just like we said, as Kesavadrita Sukara Rupa Jaya Jaya Deva Re Jaya Jaya Deva Re Jaya Jaya. So this is the song of Jadev Goswami. Sukra Rupa, the form of Sukha, the form of a boar, by which Varahadev made his appearance. So this second avatar, second manifestation, which happened in the Chakshusa avatar, Chakshusa Manvata. There are 14 Manvatas, and at the end of each one, there is always devastation at the end of each Manvata. So we have 14 of them, and each Manvata lasts 71 Divya Yugas. So what is one Divya Yuga? One Divya Yuga is all the ages taken together. So which means you have Treta Yuga, you have Dwapara Yuga, you have Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and then Kali Yuga. So that is 4 ages. And total duration of this age is 4.3 million years. And that makes one Divya Yuga. So now, Lord Brahma lives for one day is 1,000 of those Divya Yugas. But But the 1 day of Brahma is divided into 14. So 1 day of Brahmaji is divided into 14. And so each of them is 71 years, Divya Yoga. So if you multiply 71 by 4.3 million years, so that is roughly almost 300 million years. So almost 300 million years is the day, is the period of one manu. And at the end of that manu, so for each manu, there is one Indra. For each, there's one Indra. And that Indra, he will create many, many demigods also during this time. And then at the end of the life of one manu, so the particular Indra, because the universe is inundated up to the planet of Indradev, which means up to the heavenly planet, up to the higher planet. The whole universe is inundated, but the upper portion of the universe, like Janaloka, Mahaloka, all the way to Brahmaloka, they are not inundated. So that time, all the demigods, including Indra, they all move up. And he mentioned that the Indra himself, once the reign of Manu is over, then no more. That it means that Indra's time, his time is finished. Then the next Manu, then another Indra will be appointed. The next Manu, and then the particular Indra will move to the higher planet, and they may move up to the planet of Lord Brahma, and depends on their particular qualification. If they have rendered devotional service, if they have rendered bhakti, then they will all send the planet of Brahma until the end of Brahma's life. And then after the end of Brahma's life, then they all go to the spiritual world. But not everyone. Because as I said in Bhagavad Gita, that Abrahma Bhuvana Loka, Puna Avatino Arjuna, that those who are in the planet of Brahma, everyone has to come down again. But for those pure devotees, along with the Brahmaji, they all go to the other planets. So I would just say this is just some introduction of this what we're going to be reading in this chapter, which is the preamble to the appearance of Lord Varaha. First, the pregnancy of Diti in the evening. So this is the chapter of Diti, how she approached her husband in the middle of the night, which is considered to be inauspicious, and because she was consumed by a lusty desire, even though her husband told her to wait, but she could not wait. She just wanted to fulfill her lusty desire. At that time, she got what she wanted, and then her husband told her, "Okay, you've done the most horrible thing, and this was going to happen to you." So I just read today. I'm supposed to read the text number 1 and 2 of the third canto, chapter 40, text number 1. Sisuka uvacha nisanya kosara vino pavanitam Hare katam karanas sukarat manham puna sapa prachatam udyatanjali na chati tripito viduro drita bhatta. Sorry, for 1 minute. Sisuka Vacha, Sukade Goswami said, Nishamya, after hearing Kosa Ravina by the sage Maitreya, Upavanitam described Hare of the personality of Godhead, Katam narrations, Karanan for the reason of lifting the earth, Sukara Atmanan of the boy incarnation, Puna again So he, Papracha, inquired from him, Maitreya, Udyata Anjali, with folded hands, now and never, shall also, Ati Triptaha, very much satisfied, Vidura, Drita Brata, taken to a vow. Translation. Sukadeva Goswami said, this translation by Srila Prabhupada, by the way, after hearing from the great sage, Maitreya, about the Lord's incarnations as Varaha, Vidura, who had taken a vow, begged him with folded hands to please narrate further transcendental activities of the Lord, since he, Vidura, did not yet feel satisfied. So Vidura was not satisfied because he has begun to hearing the transcendental activities of the Lord. He has begun to hear the Lord's Leela, which is the devotees they seek pleasure, they relish. They get so much relishment when they hear about the Lord's pastimes. It gives them so much relishment that no matter how much they hear, they never feel any satisfied. There's no satisfaction. It's like they are very, very greedy to hear more. And it's like, tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. I want to hear more and more. They're very, very greedy to hear about the Lord's Leela. Because the Lord's Leela is so soothing. It's a Bhavanti Rikana Rasana Kata. Rasana is very, very pleasing to hear the Lord's, the Lord's Leela, the Lord's pastimes. Because what happened? Why is it so soothing to hear the Lord's pastime? Because when you hear the Lord's pastime, so many things come, happiness comes, the stress of life goes away, no more materialistic miseries goes away, And as I said, the door of liberation is wide open. Just like when Sukadeva Goswami, when he was narrating Bhagavatam, he was narrating Bhagavatam for 7 days. For 7 days, he was narrating Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. And then, not only Parikshit Maharaj was listening, there were also many, many sages, great sages, they were all listening. And because the Bhagavatam was so nectarian, and especially coming from the mouth of Sukadeva Goswami, that's why we say that Sukha Mukha Dharmita, Sukha Mukha Dharmita, which is a nectar that is coming from the mouth of Sukadeva Goswami. So because this nectar is so sweet, it's like it's the sweetest nectar. So the people are hearing it, they were so much absorbed in drinking. Pibatam means they are drinking. They are drinking this nectar that is coming from the mouth of Sukha Goswami. They are drinking it to the extent that they don't feel no hunger. They don't feel no thirst, and no inclination to even sleep for 7 days. For 7 days and 7 nights, they were simply absorbing hearing and drinking this nectar that is coming from Sukadeva Goswami. And nobody was tired. And the more they hear, the more energized they become. The more energized they say, swadu, pade, yes. Just keep on talking. Everybody was just blissful. And of course, these are the personalities by whom they don't get any taste whatsoever in any topics of this material world. So which means all their senses, everything has been completely spiritualized. So which means we can begin to relish the topics of the Lord when our senses are fully purified. Then we can begin to relish the Lord's topic. Otherwise, as long as we are contaminated, then it is difficult to really relish the topic of the Supreme Lord. So Vidura, he said, Even though he had heard so much about the Lord's Leela, the Lord's pastime, which had been briefly described by Matrimony, still he was not satisfied. He didn't feel so. Therefore, he began to inquire more and more, and he began to make more inquiries. So now Vidura started saying, Vidura Uvacha, Tina Evatu Muni Shrestha, Harina Jagamutinam, Adi Dyatyuram Yaksho, Atayitianu Sushuman. Vidura Uvacha, Sri Vidura said, Tina, by him, Eva, certainly, two, but Moni is Shrestha, O chief among the sages. Harina, by the personality of Godhead. Jagamutina, the form of sacrifices. Adi, original. Datya, demon. Hiranyaksha, by the name Hiranyaksha. Hata, slain. Iti, thus. Anusushuman, heard in succession. Translation and purpose by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Vidura said, O chief amongst the great sages, I have heard by the sleepy succession that Hiranyaksha, the original demon, was slain by the same form of sacrifices. By the same form of sacrifices, the personality of Godhead, Lord Boa. So which means by the same form, which means the same form, the same of the Lord, which are rescued the earth from the depth of the ocean. He's the same Lord that killed Hiranyaksha. So Prabhupada said, as referred to previously, the Boa incarnation was manifested in 2 millenniums, namely Swayambhuva and Chakshusa. In both millenniums, there was a Boa incarnation of the Lord, but in this Swayambhuva millennium, he lifted the earth from within the water of the universe. Whereas in the Chakshusa millennium, he killed the first demon, Hiranyaksha. In the Swayambhuva millennium, he assumed the color white, and in the Chakshusa millennium, he assumed the color red. Vidura had already heard about one of them, and he proposed to hear about the other. The two different Boa incarnations described are the one supreme personality of Godhead. So I just go a little bit ahead here to read something from the Laghu Bhagavatamrita about the incarnation of Lord Varaha. So from Laghu Bhagavatamrita, which was written by Srila Rupa Goswami. So he mentioned here that said it in the second canto. Ya to the takete talo darana ya bibritat kradin tanon sakala ya gamayim anantam hanta mahana upagatam adidatyam tam danshaya diluba vajadar dadara. And in the second canto, this is Bhagavatam 271, it's stated, when the unlimitedly powerful Lord assumed the form of a boa as a pastime, just to lift the planet Earth, which was drowned in the great ocean of the universe, called the Gabodaka. The first demon, Hiranyaksha, appeared, and the Lord pierced him with his tusk. So it mentioned here that in the writings of Baladev Vidyabhushan, he says that this verse poetically says that the Lord assumed the form of Varaha, Bibrat, Krandum, Tanum. The complete picture is that his form of Varaha exists eternally in Vaikuntha and appears as an avatar at certain times and places in the material creation. So in the Briya Bhaktamrita 2.3, 15 to 16, it mentions that Lord Varaha is present within the shell of elemental earth that surrounds the universe, where the goddess Bhumi worshipped him with incomparable opulence. In the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam also, chapter 13, 17, 18, and 19, Maitreya tells Vidura about the Varaha avatar. And in the fifth canto, 5:18, 34 to 39, Sukadev describes how Bhumi Devi worships Lord Varaha in the Uttarakuru region of Jambudvip. And then mentions, it says further, Dwe Avirasita Kape Ishme Alde Swayam Bhuvantare Granam Vide Daro Drityat Chaksusyeto Nirataha Iran Yakshan Daro Dare Nihari Tam Dam Sri Pungabha Chatuspat Sri Paraho So Ni Varaha Kwachim Mataha. So it states here, he appeared twice in this day of Brahma, which means the same day of Brahma that we are in now. It could be previous day of it's not necessarily have to be this particular day. It could be another day, but it's just in the same day of Brahma, he appeared. Lord Varaha Dev appeared. Okay, that should be this day of Brahma because this is the same time that Lord Nrsingadev came. This is the same kappa of Lord Nrsingadev came who killed Hiranyakashipu. And both Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, they were both brothers. So it is the day of Brahma that we are in now. So he appeared twice. In this day of Brahma, he first appeared during the reign of Swayambhuva, the first Manu. He came out from the nostril of Lord Brahma. This is what we've heard this in the last chapter. And raised the earth planet from the lower regions of the universe. That supreme among tusked animals appeared again during the reign of Chakshusha Manu. At that time, while lifting up the earth, he came out from the universal waters to kill Hiranyaksha. Shivaraha has 4 legs, but sometimes he is understood to have a form as half man, half boar. So this is we can understand here. So Rupa Goswami is explaining that Varadev, therefore, its eternal form is in the Vaikuntha planet, and then from time to time he made his appearance in this universe. First, he came 2 times. One time as in the time of Swayambhuva Manu, he came. He lifted the earth from the ocean, from the bottom of the ocean. And in the second, and then again in the next Chakshusha Avatar, Manu, he again made his appearance to lift the earth again, which has been inundated from the universal waters. And that time, he met Hiranyaksha, he killed Hiranyaksha. So in this we're going to be knowing about this Leela in the next in the subsequent chapters. So the first, this is from Baladev Vidyabhushan, who said, the first of these 2 Varaha appearances is described in the Bhagavatam, first canto, and the second is described in the second canto. Both of these Varaha incarnations, as well as 2 Lord Master avatars, appeared during its first day, the Brahma Kalpa, or Brahma's current month, occurring during the beginning of his 51st year. The first Lord Varaha appeared during the Swayambhuva Manvantara, when he came out from Lord Brahma's nostril and lifted the earth. The second Lord Varaha appeared during the reign of Chakshusha Manu, when he came from within the universal water, lifted the earth and killed Hiranyaksha. So in this case, Lord Varaha is portrayed with a half-human, half-boa form in the Padma Puran and other texts. So which means it's not always the form of pig or the boa, which is four-legged, but sometimes it came as half man and half half boa. So he also mentioned further, and his complexion is being described. Kadachi Jalada Swaman Shamba, Kadachi Chandra Pandraha, Jagamoti, Stavishtoyam, Vana Dwaya Yuta Smrita. Sometimes he is dark blue, like a rain cloud, and sometimes white, like the moon. These are the two colors the scriptures attribute to that mighty personification of Vedic sacrifice. So the Varaha of this Swayambhuv Manu is dark blue, and the other Varaha is white. So two colors we mentioned that either blue or white. Of course, in this case, proper mention that the one color is red, appearing in Chakshusa Millennium as a red complexion. Now, of course, the Lord can come in any complexion you want. And sometimes when the scriptures, when they describe all these incarnations, because the Lord come again and again, the Lord has unlimited forms. He has unlimited pastimes. And when he comes, he will assume different forms, and there are different complexions, some different ones. So sometimes it be white, blue, red, or whatever. Because the Lord has, so but the scriptures will simply record some portions of these appearances, and especially if there's a unique lila, if there's a unique lila that is connected with his devotees. Now the pastimes of Varaha in this particular incarnation, whereby the Lord killed Hiranyaksha, is significant because we are dealing with the Lord's devotees. Because we are dealing with the Lord's devotee. First, we have Prahlad Maharaj, by which the Lord, as incarnation, as Nishingadev who killed his father Hiranyakashipu, and Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, they were brothers. And these two brothers, who are they? They were the Lord's devotee. They were the Lord's servant in the spiritual world. They are the Lord's security guard. Check it out. They were the Lord's guard in the spiritual world. And it so happened that while in the spiritual world, the Lord has desire. The Lord, he nurtured desire. After all, we living entity, we have desire. We have our desires. So the Lord also have desires to fulfill. So, and his desire was to fight. He wanted to fight. The Lord desired to do some combats, But in the spiritual world, because everyone is a servant in the spiritual world, everyone is a servant in the Vaikuntha planet. But in the Goloka Dham, whereby Krishna sometimes he will wrestle with his friends. But in the Vaikuntha Dham, everyone is there's only one supreme master there, Supreme Majesty, Lord Narayan. And everyone is a servant. So no one will dare. So the Lord want to fight, but who's going to fight with him? Because everyone is serving him. So these two devotees, John Vijay, they know the desire of the Lord. Because of their deep desire of their love for the Lord, they pray to the Lord that our dear Lord, we know your desire, we know you have this desire. So please allow us, give us benediction allow us to fulfill desire, to fulfill this desire of yours. Allow us to fulfill desire, because the devotees, they always want to please the Lord, so they pray to the Lord to allow them to fulfill the Lord's desire. So the Lord took their prayers into consideration, and then when the Kumaras, when they came from they were coming from, they are great impersonal, they are great, let's say, spiritualists, several spiritualists, the Brahma bodies, spiritually passing, and then they enter the spiritual world, because they normally they travel between material and spiritual. So they enter the spiritual world, and then they wanted to visit the palace of they wanted to have an audience of the Lord. But as they were entering, then these two persons, Jan Vijay, they told they stopped these four Kumaras that, look, what do you think you are doing? Where do you think you are coming from? You want to enter, you want to see our Lord? You cannot enter here. Especially the four Kumara, they were like, Kumara means boy, four boys. But these four boys, they were not ordinary boys. So when the Jan Vijay stopped them from entering the palace, so the Kumaras became angry. They said, "Oh, how can you see duality here by stopping us from entering? Because here you're not supposed to see duality. After all, everything is spiritual here. You're not supposed to see duality. So therefore, we curse you that go to the material world and be a demon where you can deal with the duality there. Go to the material world." And then as this commotion was going on, so the Lord himself he came out of the palace. He came out of his palace and to be to see these two set of devotees, the Jan Vijay and also the Kumaras. So the Lord himself came into the scene. And then immediately the Kumaras, and then when they actually smelled the aroma that is coming from the lotus feet of the Lord, so they became pure Vaishnavas. And as they became pure Vaishnava, and then they realized that, oh, what they have done is not good, that they have delivered a curse on these two devotees of the Lord, and they felt themselves that they have committed some offenses. But at the same time, the Lord said, don't worry, this is my own creation. I desire this. The Lord said that this cursing, this is my own arrangement, because after all, the Lord, he has a desire to fulfill. So he told the Kumaras that, okay, no, not to Kumara, the Jan Vijay, okay, you have two options. One option is you go to the material world 3 lifetimes as a demon, or 7 lifetimes as a devotee. So you can make your choice. And after that, you will come back to your position here in the spiritual world. So Jan Vijay, they didn't want to spend too long in the material world. They said, our Lord, we will go 3 lifetimes as demons, and then we fight with you. We fulfill your desire. So this is the introduction of this whole birth of Hiranyakashipu and the Hiranyaksha. So we're not going to get we get into that more in the future discussion. So today, that Vidura was very, very curious about this. Now Vidura said, specifically, he said, Teneva tu Munishrishta, Harina Jagamotina Adikai Adi Daityo Hiranyaksho Ata Iti Anusushrima. So Vidura said that, my dear sage, the best among all the sages, I have heard by the simple succession, that Hiranyaksha, original demon, was slain by the same personality of Godhead, Lord Hari. So, who's the form of all the sacrifices? This is a verse which I have to try to analyze. two things, two key points, which are in this verse, is that Vidura said he had heard from disciples of section, which means he's not just going by speculations alone. I've heard from Parampara. I've heard from this disciples of section that this demon, initial demon, was slain by the same personality of God, who's the form of Jaga, who's the form of sacrifice. So which means the Lord of sacrifice. The Lord who is, whereby he is the embodiment of sacrifice himself. The embodiment of sacrifice. So we said Vasudeva Paraveda, Vasudeva Paramaka, Vasudeva Paraveda. The Lord who is the goal of all the, he is the goal of all the sacrifices. So he said, was slain by the personal, the form of sacrifice, which in this case is indicating of Varahadev. So now this verse which we are reading today is not just a question, but rather the crucial foundation for the question itself, the crucial foundation. So Vidura is establishing what he knows to ask about what he doesn't. So he knows to ask what he doesn't. So the key is that the way how he frames the statement, the way how Vidura frames his statement, that he said, iti ano sushruma. Sushruma means to hear. Sushruma means to hear. That I have heard. So which means he doesn't say that I think or I've read. He said I have heard, which means the direct hearing. Heard from who? From disciples of section. So which means this knowledge is coming from parampara system. How do you receive bona fide knowledge? How do you receive authentic knowledge? Authentic spiritual knowledge must be received from, succession of the authorities, the spiritual succession. I know Sushma, I've heard from authority. That's how we become. How do we become qualified to speak? We become qualified to speak what we've heard from the higher authorities themselves. That's like Prabhupada will always emphasize this parampara system, parampara, succession. Not what I think, not what I speculate about, is succession. And it's those who hear from the parampara system, they are the one who become successful in spiritual life. They are the one who actually make tangible advancement in spiritual life. They hear from succession, and then they follow accordingly. This is what we call anugatya. Anugatya means following. Anugatya. We say Prabhupanuga, we say Rupanuga, which means we are following those who follow the footsteps. For example, when Mother Yashoda, when she was chasing Krishna, when Krishna ran out of the room, and then Mother Yashoda started looking for Krishna, because Krishna had run out of the room. And then Mother Yashoda, she saw the footprint of Krishna, because Krishna's foot is not ordinary, his foot is marked with footprint. There are 19 footprints on the foot sole of a Krishna, like Ankush means the elephant god. There's a conch shell. There are deer. There are 19 markings on Lord Krishna's foot. So when Mother Yashoda, when she saw the footprint of Lord Krishna, and then she started following that, and then she saw Krishna. So similarly, also that's what we have to do. We have to follow the steps of the authority. But how do we begin to follow them? First, we have to hear from them. We hear from them, We hear from them, and then we follow their ways we follow their way of spiritual practice. So the Vidura is referring to the parampara system. He said that I have heard from the sleeping section how Hiranyaksha was killed by Varahadev. So, as I said, this is actually the cornerstone of Vedic knowledge. I think you can be hearing some crack, some loud buzz. People are still celebrating Diwali, even after 1 week. There's still fireworks going on. So, so I'm saying by it's nighttime here, so people are still blasting the fireworks. Normally it goes on for like about 2 weeks after Diwali. So I don't think that it's not that somebody is trying to blast gun at me. So this is Diwali celebration. Okay, so as they said, that a spiritual understanding, that through spiritual understanding, is not a product of a mental speculation, which is that's what we call there are there's two paths, Aruha Panta and Avaruha Panta. Aruha Panta means ascending process, ascending process, which is basically mental speculation. It's like we call it, we turn to understanding or understand something through the process of a neti, not this, not that, not this, not that. This is called Aruha Panta, the ascending process, trying to understand the supreme reality by saying, is this, is it that, is it this, is it that? Trying to understand the spiritual reality, but there is what we call a discerning process. Discerning process is called Avaroha Panta, discerning process. So this is the discerning process, which is the path by which the great devotee they follow. The great devotee follow this process of Avaroha Panta, descending, whereby we base our knowledge based on what we've heard from the authority. If you want to know things, we simply inquire from authority. We don't try to speculate. Lord Krishna told Arjuna, he said, Evam parampara praptam, was that this knowledge comes from the split section. This knowledge comes from the split section. And then the Lord says, then the Lord told Arjuna that Tavidi Paripatena Paripashna Sevaya, that if you want to understand the truth, then you have to approach the person who knows. Make an inquiry, ask questions, do some service, ask questions, and the person that you've inquired from will instruct you, will tell you what they know. The question is, if you want to understand the truth. So the great devotees, so they demonstrate this proper etiquette. So which means one must approach a spiritual master and base one's inquiries on what has been received from previous acharyas. So which means don't just make whimsical inquiries when you approach a higher person. The inquiry should not be whimsical. So Vidura, approaching Maitreya Muni, saying that because he wants to know further about the lost person, the lost Leela. So he said that I have heard from authority that yes, the Lord killed Hiranyaksha. So I want to know how this took place. How this killing of Hiranyaksha took place. So I want to know. So it means he already heard that the Lord Varaha killed. He already know that Lord Varaha killed Hiranyaksha. He already know that because he has heard from high authorities. Now you want to know how this Leela took, because the Lord's activity is Leela anyway, So he wants to know how these pastimes of the Lord took place. He wants to know. So this is as they said, this is actually the profound theological connection. So, and of course, now it's mentioned here that the form of the sacrifice, the form of sacrifice. So which means this form of sacrifice itself, it has a because the Lord himself is the embodiment of sacrifice. It's mentioned that the Varaha avatar is non-different from the Vedas and all Jaga. So, and of course, in the chapter 13, we heard about this form of Varaha, this form of Varahadev. There's this form, whereby his nose is described to be like a sacrificial spawn, the straw, and also his tusk, which he lifted, by which he used to lift the earth. His tusk was taken to be the sacrificial ladle, stakes, the stakes, yupa. And then his tongue is described to be the sacrificial fire, Agni. And his bodily hairs, they're like kusha grass. So, so by using this name, so Viduras, it signifies that the Lord's actions, even killing a demon, are not material or karmic. So the Lord's actions are not material; they're not karmic, or because his actions are not due to, they're not motivated by any kind of karmic reaction or anything like that. So his pastimes activity, they are transcendental sacrifice for the benefit of the entire universe. In this case, to save the earth. So of course, as we go on in the further chapters, and now this chapter is going to tell us about the pregnancy of Diti. We're going to learn this about this chapter about the pregnancy of Diti, how Diti, how she was influenced by the lust, and even though she approached her husband, that my dear husband, have come to you, and you have to, and the duty of a man is to satisfy the demands of his wife. At that particular time, Kashyapa, he said, yes, I understand you, and I'm ready to, I will do whatever you ask for, but at least wait for some time. Wait for some time, because at this particular time, it's not it's a very inauspicious moment, because Lord Shiva is going on in the sky, Lord Shiva is moving, and that time, so many undesirable elements, they are following him. Many ghosts, goblins, rakshasas, who are the followers of Lord Shiva, they are following him. So which means if anything that happens this particular time, it's not good. Whatever happened this particular time is not good. But Diti, she was very motivated by lust. She said, no, I must get it now. I must get it now. So we're going to be hearing about how Kashyapa ultimately he succumbed to the demand of his wife Diti, but at the same time telling her that what has happened, and this is not good. So, and some of the questionnaires which Vidura asking the matrimony is that it's a common term again at Sitam. This is in the text in the next day, which you're going to read, whereby why did Hiranyaksha challenge the Lord? This we're going to be knowing in the next chapter. And then Sadhanaya Bhaktaye, he said, my mind is very curious. So please narrate this to me. So as I'm your faithful devotee, so Vidura here is demonstrating that a devotee's curiosity is never satisfied. Trityante. He knows what happened, but he longs to hear why and how it happened. For hearing the Lord's Lila is the food for the soul. This is very, very important. This is our food. The hearing the Lord's Lila is the food for the soul. You know, a person can hear the Lord's activities and be very, very happy with it and be very, very satisfied with it. You know. Of course, as mentioned in the previous verse, whereby as Vidura was hearing, still he was not satisfied because he wanted to hear more. So when we eat palatable food, you want to keep eating, you want to keep relishing it because it's very, very relishable. So when we hear the real food of the soul, which is the Lord's pastimes, it's like we want to hear more. There is no satisfaction to that. There's no satisfaction. I think I've told this story before. One time there was a couple. There was a couple who are Vaishnavas, good devotees. And this Brahman couple, they were the Brahmana and his wife. Brahmana was always very attached to reading Shastra, reading the scriptures. He very, very rarely go out to even do any activities in terms of even providing for the family. But this couple, they have a daughter, and this daughter have reached a marriageable age. So the daughter have reached a marriageable age. So one day the wife told the husband that, my dear husband, we have our daughter here was reach a marriageable age. So I think you should do something to get our daughter marriage, because that's the duty of that's the duty of the household. Our daughter must get married. So the Brahmana replied that, well, everything is up to Krishna. If the Lord wants our daughter to get a husband, then the Lord will arrange it. So he basically put everything in the hands of the Lord, because that's the devotee's mentality. Anything that is to happen, it's up to the Lord only. If everything happen according to the Lord's will. So as these devotees, these couples, as they were in their house and all that. So the same evening, a party came to their house. And they said that, oh, we are coming from this other village, and we've heard from reliable sources that you have a very capable daughter. You have a daughter, capable, suitable, cultured, and according to all the astrological calculations, this your daughter is the most suitable for our son. So therefore, we want your daughter to get married to our son. And then they said that, and then they also said that according to the astrological chart, that this marriage must happen 4 days from now. Just like now in India now, today is the Ekadasi is finished yesterday, and from today onward, so Lord Vishnu is said to have waken up from his sleep. Normally, at the beginning of Chaturmasya, Lord Vishnu is said to go into the sleep he go to sleep for 4 months, and then he wake up at the end of 4 months. So during those 4 months, there's no marriage. No marriage in India during those 4 months. And after these 4 months, then all the marriage program begins. So which means from today onward, The big marriage procession is there all over India. So they told the couple that from today onwards, in 4 days from now, this marriage must take place between your daughter and our son. So therefore, you should make proper arrangements. Now, in the Vedic culture, we know that the marriage ceremonies, all the necessary finances, the dowry and everything must be borne by the father of the bride, not of the son. We know that in Africa, it's the son side that pay the money. You can only marry a girl, you have to pay the dowry to the daughter, to the father of the girl. But in India, the Vedic time is other side, it's opposite. It's the daughter's side that has to make all the payment, which means the daughter side, they have to pay the dowry in order to get their daughter married to a man. So they told them, this couple, that you have to get your daughter married to our son in 4 days from now. We are coming back 4 days, and this marriage will take place. So after this marriage, after this couple, after this party, after they left, now this couple, they were in a big dilemma. This couple, they have no money. They are poor, because the man, he never make any effort to have any money, to accumulate money, anything like that. So they are poor. So they tend to say, what are we going to do to get our daughter married, in 4 days from now, when we don't have no money? How are we going to afford it? What's going to happen? So they were thinking what to do. And then the wife, she remembered, she said, well, I am actually keeping some gold, which were given to me when we got married. Normally, it's a tradition in there that the ladies, they always been given, when they get married, they always have gold, which they will keep. So the wife said, okay, I have this jewelry, this earring, some ring. You can take it, go sell it, and whatever amount that's realized, we can use that to get our daughter married. So the man, he took this jewelry, he took this gold, which he took from his wife, and then he went to outside his village to try to sell this gold. He tried to sell it. And then as he was going, he came across, there was a Bhagavad recitation, Bhagavad Gita going on. The recitation of Bhagavatam was going on. So he came across it as well. So he heard that Bhagavad recitation was going on. So being a devotee is naturally attracted whenever there is a recitation of Bhagavatam going on. So he went there, he said, okay, let me go and sit down for some time. And then I can, after then I can continue to go and sell this jewelry. So he went to sit down, and then he was listening to the Bhagavad Gita. And then he became very, very totally absorbed in the hearing. He became totally absorbed. So he was hearing. All of a sudden, because the Bhagavad Gita was so relishable, talking about the lost pastime, so this devotee became very, very much absorbed and actually forgot himself, hearing. And they were hearing, and several days was going by. As a matter of fact, 7 days passed by. And at the end of Bhagavad Gita, then it's like he came out of his absorption, his samadhi. He came out, and then he realized that, I've been here for 7 days, because this Bhagavad Gita has been going. I've been here for 7 days. Now what's going to happen? Now I'm supposed to go and sell this gold to get my daughter married. That's supposed to happen 3 days ago, because 4 days before he left home. 3 days ago, say, now I started lamenting. Now what's going to happen now? My wife now is going to be so mad at me. She's going to be beating me on the head that I didn't do what was supposed to do. So because he knew that the days are already passed, he said, okay, whatever, I'm just going to go back home. So he decided to go back home, back to his house. He said, well, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. So, and then his dad decided to go back to his village. But when he entered the village, the first person that met him, he asked him, he said, "Oh, you are so and so Brahmana, you're so and so person." He said, "Yes, I am." He said, "Oh, 3 days ago, you had such a big, such a wonderful marriage ceremony. So much opulence was going on, so much food, so much of everything, so much gold and everything was going on. We never have that before in our village." So this Brahman think that this person has gone crazy. What do you mean? I'm supposed to sell this gold to get my daughter married, and then this fellow is saying that the marriage took place 3 days ago. Everybody, so much of everything, everybody was happy. So this Brahman thought that this person is a mad person. He has gone crazy. And then he was going to his house, and then as he was going, the next person he met saying the same thing, that, "Oh, you're so and so person. So marriage in our village never happened before. So much openness." Everybody was meeting on the way, they all glorifying, telling him the same thing. So this Brahmin think that he thought that everyone in the village has gone crazy because they don't know what they are talking about. So as he near his house, he at his house, and then his wife came out of the house, very, very jubilant. Came out of the house. "Oh, my dear husband came, welcome back." He said, "Oh, you should have been here 3 days ago. We had our daughter got married. So much, so much of problem was there." So the man was totally surprised. He said, "What going on? Tell me what happened." And the wife said that the moment you left, one boy came, one black boy came, and then he was bringing so much stuff to the house. And this boy said that you have sent him. And he was bringing so much stuff, so much food item, gold item, so many things was bringing to the house, this boy. So the Brahma became very, very surprised. Which boy has come to the house? Which boy is that? And then he started thinking. There's so happened that when he was out there, sitting in the Bhagavatam class, hearing Bhagavatam lecture going on, actually at that time, Krishna came to his house and fulfilling all his obligations, bringing everything, fulfilling all his obligations. So in this way, devotees, hearing Bhagavatam is their life. So this is basically the gist of this verse today. That Vidura, he want to hear about the form of the Lord, which is this form is basically the lost pastimes. The lost pastimes, and also about the essence of hearing from the authority, that we should not speculate about spiritual subject matter. All right, so I'm going to stop here. It's 9:45 p.m. So I will stop here. Hare Krishna. So if anybody have any question or you want to add something, I can see some Mahajans on this platform tonight. Kangat Prashad is here. Srimad Varaha is here. Who else is here? A lot of great devotees are here. Okay, Hare Krishna. Hare Bol.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, as always. It's always beautiful hearing you speak because you also share lots of related pastimes to the topic. And I must say today, actually, it's my first day hearing that Lord Varaha has two forms. One form which is half human, half boa, because I never knew until today. So thank you so much for sharing that, and also reading from Sri Rupa Goswami's scripture. Hamsadita Prabhu, please give me on mute. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Please kindly accept my thoughtful obeisance, please. All glory to Gurudev, all glory to Prabhupada, and all glory to you, and all glory to wonderful assembled devotees. Yes, I'm so excited I came late, but very excited to hear the part of the class, especially about Jagai and Magai, because always, if you look at it very
Jai and
carefully,
Jai and Vijay, not
uh,
Jagamaj. Jai and Vijay.
Jagai and Vijay, sorry.
Jai, Jai
Yes,
and Vijay.
Jai and Vijay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So amazing how Krishna orchestrated all that and they put themselves to serve him. Because first we think that they are demons and they do something, but they are also playing is in the other way around, they are doing austerity to Krishna, for Krishna to fulfill his desire. And I'm very happy to hear that part very well from you.
Mm.
My question I want to ask is, please, this marriage of the Indians, I don't know either it's the devotees or Hindus, that is the woman who pay the expenses and everything. Is it their tradition or is it Vedic?
It is
This
very
is my
tradition. It is very
okay.
tradition. So yeah, if you read Krishna book, you find that also. So it's always the very tradition that the bride side will pay the dowry. It'd be nice if you
Oh.
can have that in Africa also.
Because
You know.
I heard it sometime, but I wanted to know it is a Vedic, because if you have to explain to somebody so that you don't have to speculate, like you are saying, that you have to say it with your own words. At least you say it as the scriptures say. That
Yeah.
it's a Vedic.
Yeah, it is Vedic. It is Vedic. Vedic way. Vedic tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
So which means if any of you, if you want, well, if you have to marry your daughter, you have to pay. But if if you want to marry your son, you go to us, tell him that I'm a devotee, I'm following the Vedic system. So therefore,
No, they will not allow you. even the devotees in Africa, they will say no.
they have to tell you that. So the Vedic system,
Yeah. They will say you are not serious. You don't want to get married.
No, we tell you we are followers of Vedic system.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Thank you
thank you
so
so
much
much.
for the answer. Thank you.
Yeah, Ganga Prashad, Prabhu, please you may unmute.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mahagosai.
Hare Ganga Prasad.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat.
Thank you very much for this nectar. Very nectarian. And I just wanted you to elaborate on what is the significance of benefits of the bride's parents paying the bridegroom in relationship with, supposing there is a mishap that the bridegroom dies just after the marriage. What is the significance of that payment in relationship with how the bride continues her life then after?
Well, because your question is kind of tricky. You mean if the bride dies, or if the bride dies right after the marriage,
bridegroom.
or the bridegroom dies?
The bridegroom, the bridegroom.
The man.
So if the bridegroom dies right after the marriage, well, usually
Yes.
in the Vedic tradition, which is nowadays, it's not really. Normally, if the bridegroom should die after the marriage, then the woman she stays widow. She stays widow. She doesn't get married again. She stays widow, and yeah, that's just the Vedic, because at the time that the marriage, the bride, she already sold herself to the husband. It's like a soulmate. So I mean, of course, actually, in the very time, that time, the woman, she just put herself in the fire. That's called sati. Of course, that doesn't happen anymore. But usually that's what happened in the Vedic time, whereby the woman goes into the sati, she goes into the fire where the husband has been burnt. But nowadays, no. it doesn't happen anymore. So, the usually it doesn't happen, but very, very rare cases. But normally it doesn't happen, usually, because unless somebody is very, very sinful, then they don't, such a thing do not happen. Unless a person is very extreme sinful. Or in the case of Pandu Maharaj, Pandu, who was married to both Kunti and Madri, and Pandu, because he was cursed to die, if he was to have any sexual union with his wife, because of what he had done in the, earlier. So even though he was married to his wife, he could not have sexual union with them because he would die immediately he had sexual union. But still, one time he was captivated by one of his wife, and then he had to have sexual union with her, and then immediately, passed away, immediately died. So then the Kunti, both Kunti and Madri decided, okay, Kunti will take care of the children, the Pandavas, while she herself will follow the husband in the cremation fire. So that's there. But again, what happened in Vedic times is difficult to really follow in this age. It's difficult to follow what they follow because in the Vedic time, people are very, 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 very resolute, very, very charming, and very, very, very highly religious. Okay. And of course, even here in India, nowadays also we find that some women, if their husband should die early, even I personally know many of those women, they remain single their whole life. And even I've seen some men also, if their wife die early, they remain single. Just like we have one of our devotees, Mayapur, his young wife died during the a big flood in I think it was 2007 or 8. We had a big flood that time. So the wife died in the great flood. But so this devotee, even though he was young, still he remained single. He did not marry again. Even everybody, if many people tell me, say, get married, get me, I said, no, I will never marry again. And especially his former wife happened to be Prabhupada's granddaughter. So he said, no, I will never marry again. So in that case, that situation is there, That is a very rare occasion, very rare situation.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Why I asked the question is here in Africa, we think that the man should pay to the women family.
Yeah, I know.
When he carries his wife and they may be drinking throughout their marriage because of poverty. But on the converse, if the family of the bride blesses the bridegroom with sufficient wealth, even when the bridegroom leaves his body, there's enough wealth for the girl to continue her life.
Yeah.
So it's like the parents are investing in the future prosperity of their daughter.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually what that is meant for. It's not that they are paying the groom. They actually invest in the life of the of the bride in her future life, so that when there's emergency, such a thing does not happen, so that she's not put in that crazy difficult circumstances. Just like the I talked that story of the Brahman and the wife. So the wife, she had some jewelry, gold, which she had been keeping since her marriage. So therefore she gave the gold to the husband to go and sell. So it's an investment basically. It's not for the husband to go and be spending. No. It's actually the investment towards the bride. But that investment is made by the the family of the bride. They do that.
So does it
So,
does
so,
it
so,
reconcile?
so I'm sure all your daughters who are married, I'm sure you have given them sufficient, you are giving them sufficient, dowries and everything, gold, and for them to continue all their lives, all your married daughters, because
Sorry.
they all doing very wonderfully. So, Hare Krishna.
I was saying before the interruption.
Yeah,
I
your
was
voice,
saying before the interruption. Does it really?
the voice is breaking.
Yeah.
Maybe your bandwidth.
Or reconcile the biblical statement? Who finds a wife finds some fortune.
Were you able to catch this, Sade? Were you able to, because it's breaking?
No, he was breaking up.
Okay, I was having an interfering call.
Okay.
What I'm asking is,
Yeah.
does it reconcile the biblical statement that he who is a wife findeth in favor and fortune?
Well, the point is that the Vedic scriptures predated Bible. So Vedic scripture is way outdated, way predated by whatever the Bible is of the recent, whereas the Vedic statement is something that is there for millions and millions of years. It's not something new. So which means we are more, it's what is in the Vedic is much more valuable than what is in the Bible. And I don't follow the Bibles, and I don't try to validate whatever's in the Bible. I follow the Vedic Vedic statement because Vedic statement is older than what is in the Bible. Vedic scripture is the grandfather of the Bible.
If a man marries and the bride's family blesses him with sufficient fortune, he finds favor, he finds fortune, and so that confirms that very statement biblical that you marry, you find favor. If you marry this kind of a wife where the bride family will shower you with fortune, your life will change.
Yeah,
You will not be the same again.
Usually, yeah. Basically. Yeah, it is that way, yeah. The life will definitely be changed. Unfortunately, in these days and age, things kind of upside down because of Kali Yuga, whereby it's a lot of so many nasty things are happening because of Kali Yuga. Even I'm talking of here in India, so many crazy stuff, whereby the men become very, very greedy. They want more and more from the wife family, give more, and they don't get what they want. They kill the bride. It's very, very ugly stuff. Very, very ugly. Actually, the government of India, is banned now. It's banned by the government. The dowry is banned. Nobody can ask it. The dowry is illegal now, but many is by tradition. People are still asking for it, but it is illegal according to the Indian constitution because it's been exploited so much. So therefore, the government banned it. But it's still going. It's still going now.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. This is Nectarian. Thank you. I don't have any regret to have attended this class. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thank you so much.
Thank you for blessing with your presence.
Thakur Murari, it's very nice to see you here because we were very much concerned about you, and we believe, even though you got battered, but you're still here. So please, you may unmute. So good to see you, brother.
Unmute yourself.
Thakur Murari is in Jamaica, and I believe you
Okay.
all heard what was going on, the hurricane, Melissa.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
All
Yeah,
right,
Prabhu,
so can
yeah,
you
you
hear
may
me
go
now?
ahead. Yeah, we can hear
Okay,
you.
so yes, thank you for your concern. Well, on a personal level, I'm okay. We didn't have any damage, so to speak, but our in-laws didn't feel so well. So we are happy that we are okay, but we can a little bit sad for them. But personally, we are okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So I know you're concerned. So I came and then we just got back power last night, although I had solar energy, but most of the areas got back power last night. So we got back internet last night. So I'm happy for that. So I'm able to tune in today.
Yeah, thanks
Yes.
to Christian. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thanks the PRABHU, Israel PRABHU for the Nectarian presentation. And also, just a question: do you have other marriages other than the? I know you have pre-arranged marriages, but do you have other marriages? Like I know in some inside there's a kidnapping of the bride. So I don't know. Are there different types of marriage in the Vedic system?
Yeah. There are different marriage, not just it's what we call Swayamvara. Swayamvara is when there's a competition to select the bride. That is Swayamvara system. Just like when Loram was marrying Sita Devi. So it was during the Swayamvara system. And usually the bride will select her own husband. Usually. She will select. And of course, there's what we call the Gandhava system of marriage. So there are different Vedic marriage like that. Kidnapping, like when Krishna kidnapped Rukmini, like that. So, like that is there. There's so many systems. The most common one is Swayamvara system, whereby there's a selection, the marriage selection, or when the suitors, they will compete with themselves, and then the most capable person will get to marry the to marry the bride. Just like Arjun, he was in the competition with so many princes, whereby the person who can shoot the fish in the eye by looking into the mirror below, and the fish eyes is on the roof, it's on the ceiling, so you have to shoot. So whoever can do that, we get to marry the bride. So usually the most capable person get to marry the bride. And of course, the bride will usually select her own husband. Just like during that the shooting of the arrow, Kana was also there. Kana could have done the same thing that Arjun do, because he was actually almost a more capable warrior than Arjun himself. But Draupadi did not want Kana. She actually wanted Arjuna. So therefore, when Kana wanted to take this bow to shoot the arrow, immediately Draupadi said, "No, I don't want the son of a suitor. I don't want anybody. She said who she doesn't want. So she basically disqualified Kana. So Kana had to put aside his bow and arrow. So anyway, that's the way it goes. The selection or the kidnapping, and that kidnapping is also usually in the agreement of the woman. And just like when Krishna kidnapped the Rukmini, she was in agreement with it and went down the stairs. And even she was driving the chariot, the kidnapping chariot. Or when Arjun kidnapped Subhadra, like that. So you find many of these stories especially in the Mahabharata. You find many of these stories. But again, it's the most capable men we get to choose the hand of the woman. And of course, the most popular is the arranged marriage, whereby the family simply select who to be the two family. They will decide among each other who to be the husband of the bride. They will usually between two families, they will do the selection. So the so-called love marriage is very, very rare, but it's also there. So love marriage, which is common, which is what we have in the West. It's not It's not unusual also in the Vedic time. That's also there, but it's extremely rare. What is common is the arranged marriage or the marriage by selection or by kidnapping, like that. So there,
Thank you, Prabhu.
all kinds of variation is there, you know. So I'm glad you are safe in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Anna, Hamza Duta, before we go to Anadi Didana. Hamza Duta, please you may unmute.
Yes, thank you, Grace, again for opportunity. I wanted to say something about what the Grace Ghana Pastor was saying.
I think you have two devices, Hamza Duta.
Oh yes, we are going to put one off. In Islam, especially those who are from the north, when they give their daughter for marriage, most of the time they will give the person capital, a lot of money to start business or give you bought a car for you for transport business so that you can take care of their daughter. So that one is also there. People don't do it usually, but because they don't have money. But most of the Alajis who are very rich people, they usually do that. It's common for them to do that. That is one contribution I wanted to share.
So they are following the Vedic system.
Yeah, very much.
Well, most of the things in Islam, you can see them in Vedic, our Krishna consciousness, but it's not broad like in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anadi Nidanam Prabhu, please you may unmute.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, thank you once again for gracing our platform. So, Prabhu, quick comment before my question. I even posted it on the chat room already. In regards to what Ganga Prashad Prabhu asked, I think it's one of Prabhupada's purpose that I read that such a woman is considered unlucky, and hence no other man would like to marry such a woman. In some cases, they don't allow her even to return to her father's house. I think I read it in one of the narrations of Ekadesi or Prabhupada's purport in Shima Bhagavatam. So my question is, and also I learned from Srimad Shivas Vanachari that the Vedic way of marriage actually prohibits the man from divorce, because your wife is your source of your wealth. So if you have to divorce such a person, that means all the wealth that you have also, you have to give it up. For that matter, it's very difficult to divorce such a woman. So therefore, the Vedic system of marriage is the best. So that is a way of by comment. And also, I would like to know, since this very man that uh, his daughter has been married in his absence, who represented him? Because he's still alive and he has not authorized anybody to represent him at the marriage ceremony. And it is said that during marriage, the father's blessing, that is the most important, rather than the Brahmana or whosoever. So who represented the father?
Well, because the marriage, according to the calculation of there's what we call Titi. Titi means the timing, the exact timing must be there. So because the Titi has been set, the timing has been done. So even though the man was not there, but the fact that all the facilities were already set, all the facilities were already done, whatever the ornament, the food, it's already there. And because there are society assemblies of Brahmanas are there, and when the man was not come, because the man was absorbing in hearing Bhagavad Gita, Krishna Lila, he was so absorbed in that. So his wife ultimately said, okay, let marriage goes on. Your husband is not also the marriage, because they had to follow the titi. This time must be followed. Otherwise, the whole thing is spoiled. So therefore, the OT went on. It's not that the man must be there to give away the, the daughter. As a matter of fact, I've seen so many marriages here in India, whereby it happens many times. The father is not there, and the daughter is given away in marriage, because the assemblies of Brahmanas are there, the priests are there, because the timing, the titi was most important. I mean, sometimes some marriage timing may even be in the middle of the night. Some timing may be in the daytime. So they have to, when the marriage is being set, schedule is being set, they follow that. They have to look at the timing. Okay, this time is the most auspicious time, and that is that time that the marriage will take place. One time I was visiting one place, and the marriage timing was 3 o'clock in the morning. 3 o'clock in the morning was the timing. That's when they could do it. So they had to follow the timing. That's the Vedic system. I know that, where we came from, the West, the outside India, they don't follow that. They just do things according to how they want to do it. But in India, they're very, very particular about the timing, the titi. Very, very particular about it. So that's we've had many marriage. Even I remember when one of our girl was married in Mayapur, the father was not there. Radhakun was married in Mayapur, the father was not there. Radhakun from Ghana. She was married in Mayapur, the father was not there. So, it happens. It's not necessarily that the father has to be there to be given away. All right? It's not like, no. That's the way it is. It's the timing that's most important.
Well, thank you so much, Prabhuji. And more especially like the last comment you made. Like His Holiness Bhakti Swami Maharaj used to say, and we actually witnessed it in Gitanagari, that when we have a community, we should be able to live in such a way that when somebody visits the community, one cannot even tell who is the father or the mother of this particular child. And it happens in Gitanagari. You come, you see how the kids relate to the devotees. You can hardly tell who is the parent. So if we have such loving exchanges, then the other person can represent the biological parents if the biological parent is not available. Because love is actually much thicker than blood. That's what we understand. So thank you so much, His Grace Ishara Prabhu. I can tell you have a little bit of cold, but you still made it to speak.
Vara Prabhu, you want to say something?
Yeah, Shobhara Prabhu, you've been invited. Please. Unmute.
Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you, all glories to Prabhupada. All glories to the humble devotees. Thank you very much. It's been very enlightening listening to you as always. So please, I don't have anything to say. Thank you very much. Thank you. We look forward to seeing you again.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So devotees in the US in particular, please remember we just had our daylight time savings Saturday into Sunday. So we've adjusted our clocks. So whatever time we were attending the class, we have to be here 1 hour early. And that is if it was 11 o'clock, it's now 10 o'clock. If it was 10 o'clock, it's now 9 o'clock. If it was 10 o'clock, sorry, if it was 12 o'clock, it is now 11 o'clock our time.
I think I heard that Trump is going to stop that. He's going to stop that daylight saving time.
Oh, he will not. They've been talking about it. Every year they talk about it. It doesn't get anywhere. And it will not make sense they do away with it, because if they do, then it will be very dangerous for kids especially those in the East, to go to school in the mornings because it will be dark everywhere.
Yeah.
And you know, this place is a very dangerous place, unfortunately. So they may, but I don't know when. And I do not, personally, I do not support it. It should be the way it is. Well, thank you so much, Prabhuji. And with that, we're going to, Prabhuji, if you may give a concluding remark, His Grace Ishwara Prabhu. I was saying that I could tell that you have a little bit of cold, but you still made it here to share your love and wisdom with us. And
yes,
we very much appreciate it so much. We wish you speedy recovery.
Yeah, some cough is there because we're having the changing of weather.
Yeah.
Also we don't have the best of when we are full of pollution here in Italy. A lot of pollution was there.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
so we have a lot of contributing factors.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, I just I thank everyone for listening, and we should simply increase our hearing and chanting, and tend to encourage one another in terms of our this hearing, and also this platform is actually very, very important platform. I remember I was in England just now. I just came from England just about a few days ago, and I met some devotees there. They said that, oh, we have been hearing, we have been looking at we have been hearing here on the Hare Krishna platform, which means some people there, they actually see this platform. Maybe they must probably, maybe they may not be coming on Zoom. They're likely send it on YouTube or something like that. But I got a comment from England that some people are actually watching it. They're watching this. So it's actually a great service that the team here, which they are doing for people, different speakers come every night and speak on Bhagavatam, and there's comments, there's questions, and that is benefiting everyone. So I encourage everyone to keep doing it, and also not just come on the platform, because I don't come on the platform all the time, hardly ever, but our personal reading is very, very important. The reading Bhagavatam, the scriptures, and then whatever we read, we can come on the platform and share it. You can share it on the platform, ask questions, or if you have particular realizations, we can always share our realizations that way.
Jai.
Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. You add to the nectar that we oftentimes cherish on this particular platform. Thank you so much. Dear devotees, we're going to humbly request you all to kindly unmute yourselves, and we all chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra to express our deepest appreciation to our revered speaker for today. It's very interesting. Today is the first day of the week. Hold on, please. Today is the first day of the week. It is the first verse from a new chapter. And so everything is like new. Everything is afresh. So it is very great. Please, you will Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Mancha Kripa Sindhu,
Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai.
Jai.
All glories to His Grace, Ishwara Prabhu Ki Jai. All
Jai.
Vaishnava devotees Ki Jai. Hare Krishna,
Jai.
Ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Jai.